These elephant were around. If these are the ellies that were around earlier today, or the ellies that were here yesterday, and maybe they went up to Buffelshoek Dam for water. I want to go to Buffelshoek Dam. All of these rhino in the Sabi sand, I suppose a lot of them might come in from Kruger. I guess you could say all of the rhino in this particular area are pretty accustomed to the vehicles. I don't know as yet of any incidents of rhinos charging the vehicle, which makes us maybe a little bit complacent in the sense that we don't expect anything from them in terms of aggressive behavior. On foot it's a different matter. You know, on foot you're a human being, and that's something else entirely. Black rhino are somewhat different. Black rhino are a little bit more skittish. Although having said that, it is known that white rhino with a calf is perhaps the most dangerous. And I personally have never really been charged by rhino. I've been on foot and had rhino running towards me. Elephant had been here, that's for sure. Wow. I think they've gone back up to the dam after being here. Looks like they were here after Central Road. Definitely look like the tracks are going up towards Buffelshoek Dam. Hopefully we can find them there. Patrick had some there yesterday afternoon. Some wonderful interaction around the water. And I noticed there was that big tuskless female that we had seen in the morning. We'd seen her. She was looking quite beautiful, all decked out in mud and water, looking very dark compared to a dusty family member. Section coming. What's the tree now? So interestingly, Karula was with the boys this morning. And Yambilu Yodan. So after a little bit of straying with Ntima the other day, he comes back to the Lady of Juma, huh? Maybe some of you are new on the site, you're not too sure who we're talking about. We've got a leopard here. Her name is Karula. She has two young sub-adult males who we've been watching grow up. And for some viewers who've been watching us over the last couple of years, every day we manage to do two drives a day, 3 hours each, coming to you live from the Sabi Sands. And this is one of them. We're coming to you live right now after spending some time with some rhino. Try and Catch up with some elephant that moved north. Evidently Karula was around with the boys at Buffelshoek Dam this morning. I moved west. Could keep them in the vicinity of the dam. I could send them back towards Gari Dam. Day like today, they could be moving, they could be sleeping. Pretty hot. I wonder if anybody found where that lion went that we saw yesterday morning. The elephant we had, they've gone. We're going to go onto the western side of the dam rather than the east, encounter the light. Something lying there. Can you see? Just, I'm too low. I can stand up. I think it's buffalo lying on the other side there, the other side of the dam, and I'm too low below the wall, and if I go back I can't see them. Well, we'll see when we get out the other side. Yep, yeah, the LE tracks coming to the dam. They've been here already. It doesn't look like it was too long ago. We missed elephants. A buffalo on the other side there. Got some dirty fuel again. I don't know if we can get to these buffalo now. Maybe. The reason why I want to come to these buffaloes, sorry, Tara. I wanted to come and see these buffalo just in case there's some familiar faces here that we know from this area. But I don't think so. I'm seeing horns on all of them. Hello, boys. So far, seeing about 6 of them. And this is a very typical superior stance of a buffalo, meant to intimidate. And sitting in a vehicle, it is somewhat intimidating. I'll tell you, after 3 hours of walking in the heat, when you see that, it is very intimidating. But buff do tend to look at you like that and turn around and walk away or run away, mostly. Except you never know when they're going to run towards you aggressively. As you can see, they're all kind of hidden behind some bush and I can't get through there. The best we can do for these buff. And say hello to the hippo. Small group of Duggar boys at Buffelshoek Dam. Whoa! Able. Nyati behind me, just looking at Mvubu now. A little bit of a threat display going, but that other one they said, no. Second one also opening its mouth towards us. Just kind of saying, look, we've got these weapons, don't try anything. That could be little Bob bobbing up there. Very young hippo. That I'm sure is possibly little Bob. No telling, of course. But could be the little boy or girl or youngster. Okay. Right, let's move along. Time to find some things again. I think if we carry on up to the boundary, let's see, find out. Abel coming? Did you come from Buffalo boundary?
But I took a sponsor for 2 English, Papa Popul Road, cut across south to the Guarican area, so I'll go around, check around again.
Okay, copy. Because I hadn't Love and Kwanzaa coming up from Nyala Road South, coming up. It looks like they were at the Marty earlier.
Okay, copy.
So let's go and have a look, see where these elephant went to. Peter in Sweden. Yes, Peter, this is a dam that is made by humans. This is a dam wall that blocks what we call a drainage line. That is what keeps the water here. This is all rainwater. So it's human made, but it does accumulate rainwater. And where should we go? The road or this road? Let's do this road, I think. This little track. The buffalo moves a little bit more into the open, but I'll give them a bit of a break. Also, Trim Nyati at Gary Dam. Peter, how many dams in there? We've got 4 dams that we visit. 4 dams that are currently viable. Obviously, during the summer months when the rains come, there are a lot of smaller pans and water holes that fill up if we get good rains. But now, towards the end of the dry season, there are only 4 main dams that have water. There's this one called Biffleshoek Dam, the main dam at the lodge where our camera is, which is Gowrie Dam, and Treehouse Dam, where the rhino and other buffalo are now, and Twin Dams, which is a rather small dam. Now, that is only within our small traversing area. There are many other dams on neighboring properties that the animals go to. For example, these hippo cover fairly large areas, and they go to various other dams in the area. When they're not here, they're just off of our boundaries. There's a lot of animal movement. Or rather, let's put it this way, there's freedom of animal movement, there's limited human movement. Oops. Tracks here that male lion that came in yesterday from Biffleshoek. Hey, look, come in. You know where those my dads went to this morning? Okay, thanks. So, there were wild dogs on Buffelshoek. I went west into Manjaleti. I'm not seeing any sign of the elephant coming this way. I wonder, maybe let me change plans. Let's go further west. Maybe do Hyena Road. Hyena tracks. Looking at, there was one that looked like it could have been a dog. And it's slightly softer sand. But here I'm only seeing toes. Look up to Hyena Road. If there's elephant came to drink, they might have headed further west. They don't look like they've gone north into Buffelshoek. Not yet, at any rate. Elephant tracks here, heading further east. Different elephants. Also, there are vehicle tracks from this morning on top of these elephant tracks. Are getting a little bit of fresh green growth down in this little low-lying area. Obviously slightly higher water table, greener grasses coming through, slightly different composition of grasses than on the top of the rises. Also, one of the right here in front of us on the bottom of your screen is the dried up wallow from a natural pan. that'll be filling up in the wet season, and heavily utilized by things like elephant, rhino, and buffalo. Very thick black clay we call cotton soil. Looks like that ram is a little bit alert. Are we getting a beeping? I don't know, I'm not copying it, I'm just getting static. Let's go. Looking at this Impala ram, he does seem to be. Let's go up onto the cut line quickly and have a look. Level the cut line. Females aren't very worried about anything, they're still grazing. But he's interested in something, he's got his eye on something. It might just be another Impala. It might be something else that he's looking at, another animal. Only one way to find out, really. He's not showing an alertness like it's a predator. It looks like he's watching something. Just looking in, maybe just because that's where the wind's coming from. Hearing sound. Trying to be the best macho ram he can be with the ladies around. See girls, I'm vigilant. Looking out for you. Meanwhile, he's the one that'll be caught. Sorry, just have to write something down quickly. I thought maybe there might be something on the termite mound, but there isn't. We'll go back to Hyena Road. There's a female that's looking that way. Quite intently. Want me to stop for this?
Hi everybody, this is Tara in Final Control. Apologies for cutting to the dam. We just had a few technical issues with the camera. I'm not too sure how long it's going to take to sort it out, but for the time being we've got 2 buffaloes here. And I have been having a looking around just to see if there's any leopards around. Remember we did lose 3 leopards at Buffalo's Hook Dam. They were moving in a westerly direction and I thought they may have started coming down towards the dam. There's a few impala around, so I'm holding thumbs, keeping my fingers crossed that hopefully we do get some activity around here from the cats. But otherwise, enjoy the buffalo and hopefully we'll be back on drive very shortly. Hi everybody, this is Tara. Apologies not being able to get into the chat rooms. My computer's just a little bit slow, so apologies for that, but hopefully I'll be back with you shortly. But for the time being, as I say, the buffalo seem to be nice and relaxed, and the impala in the background there. And some people are just asking about the cat update, and definitely the guys filled me in as soon as I walked in through the door. They basically jumped out of the scene and said, "Oh, you've missed so much." So it was quite a wonderful night last night over dinner, talking about what had been happening with the leopards mating, and obviously in Duna pulling a kill up into the tree just outside Final Control. So I'm quite envious I missed that one, but all the stories that I got afterwards was absolutely awesome. So give me a few moments, hopefully I'm going to be back in the chat rooms very shortly. But say, do enjoy the buffalo and the dusk that's coming in, and hopefully we're going to get quite a nice beautiful sunset. And as soon as I know anything else on the camera situation, hopefully I'll be able to give you some more information. And just in case you guys haven't been able to see it, there's some impala just in the back, behind the water where the buffalo are, and it looks like they're busy sparring. Obviously it's not going to be an intense fight, we're not in the breeding season anymore, but it looks like there's two males just testing their strength. And you can see, again, it's not really intense, they're not really giving too much of an effort behind it, but you can see it's quite an interesting thing to watch, especially this time of year. You won't see it very often. We're still busy working on the technical problem with the camera, but hopefully we will be back with you as soon as possible. So do stay tuned, enjoy the buffalo and the impala, and keep a look out for any leopards. And just while I've got a few moments with you guys, some of you were asking about my trip through to Australia, and it was absolutely fantastic. Thanks everybody for asking. I managed to see quite a lot of Australian mammals, which I was really happy about. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see any wild kangaroos, but I will have to go back out and hopefully rectify that one. But I wasn't in the right place, unfortunately, to see them. I spent most of my time around Sydney and in the surrounding areas, but I did make it through to the Blue Mountains. That was absolutely fantastic, being in the temperate rainforest, which was obviously very, very different to being out here. And again, you can see the impala just rutting in the background again. There's two males just testing their strength. So it's quite a wonderful thing to see. And the buffalo still just busy grazing away. And with the amount of buffalo around the dams and on our little part of the area where we traverse in Juma, hopefully we will be seeing some lions and more lion activity. Obviously we did have some tracks this morning. They did move over into the southern side towards Chitwa, but hopefully they'll come back. We'll definitely have to listen for the dams or the sounds around the dam tonight and listen out for any lions calling, and it definitely is a very special thing to hear. And also the hyenas, if both of them are calling, it's a fantastic thing. So definitely keep a listen out during the night, and you never know, you might even see a lion around by the dam. And just anybody who wasn't able to join the drive this morning, I was actually see two Majingi lions last night who were calling, and unfortunately I missed them actually calling right in front of one of the vehicles, but I did actually hear them. And that was two of the Majingi lions, one with the dark mane and one with the scratch on his nose, who's been nicknamed Smudge. Both of those were together, and I think that was the tracks that we were seeing this morning. And they came up towards Twin Dams. They actually came right up towards Gowrie Dam and then headed back down over into the southern side. Hi everybody, this is Tara Final Control again. Unfortunately, the technical issue seems to be a little bit more problematic than we thought, but hopefully we'll be ready to go out on a drive tomorrow morning. So keep your fingers crossed that everything should be fine for the drive tomorrow. But Mark will come and join us in a short moment. He's just putting the vehicle back on charge, and he will be here to chat with you guys for the last 45 minutes of the drive. So if you do have any questions, do send them through. He will still be able to answer them. And all you need to do is send them through to finalcontrol@safari.tv, and Mark will be able to answer them. And he'll also come into the chat rooms as well to talk to everybody, and hopefully on the microphone as well. So do stick around to ask him anything you'd like to about the drive, anything you've seen on drive, or anything that you'd like to know. And we'll carry on looking around for any of the animals around by the dam. Hopefully the leopards will make an appearance. As I say, Karula and the two boys. Someone was actually asking earlier about how the two boys are interacting with each other, if they are still interacting. And Mishu and Duna were there this morning by Buffalo's Hook Dam. Unfortunately, we did just miss seeing them all together. But Yambili Ordan was also with Karula and the boys. So all four were there at Buffalo's Hook Dam this morning. We were just a little bit late getting there, so we only ran into Induna, who was sleeping, and Yambili Ordan. So I'm going to be leaving you to Mark, and he should be here shortly.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mark here in Final Control. Well, I'm back in camp and grounded, I guess you could say, for some reason or other. Actually, the reason is a battery bank that has somehow died on us prematurely. And hopefully we'll be able to find out what our battery capacity is in the morning after 12 hours of charging. And, well, only time will tell. But I'm quite sure that everything will be fine once batteries are charged again. For some unknown reason, we seem to have lost our batteries. I'm just going to sign into all of chats and into email, and I'll be back with you shortly. Hi, I'm back and finally signed into everything I could possibly sign into right now, except maybe Facebook. Still got to do that, but I'm not going to get in there right now. Just going to go through some questions quickly and have a look at what you've been chatting about while I've been out on drive. Some interesting tracks up on the firebreak. Found tracks from those wild dog. Evidently wild dog were seen up on Buffelshoek this morning heading west into Manuleti. It seems we had briefly, we must have had them on the firebreak that runs parallel with Buffelshoek cut line, or either early this morning or at some stage today. A little bit crowded with buffalo, rhino and hyena and elephant tracks. So I've got to read the questions first. Thanks, Cheryl, for your email. And, well, fortunately Tara didn't have to pass that on. Just Cheryl thanking us for chatting about the rhino issue. I don't think there's enough talking we can do about the rhino issue. I know there was a bit of an uproar, or rather a, what's the word I'm looking for? Something occurred recently, or not too far back, in chat, and quite rightly. It wasn't really the place to bring it up, but certainly on fireside chats and on drives, certainly that is the place that we can discuss these things. Chat, on the other hand, is more sort of, or exactly that, just getting to know each other and passing on information. But to sort of maybe pound one subject is a little bit too much for a general chat room that has a lot of people in it. So enough said on that subject. Nancy wanting to know how she can get into chat without using Facebook. Nancy, there's several different options. There's either on our Wild Earth stream, there's the Wild Earth chat. I know there are some issues with that at the moment. I'm currently logged in through Zap Live because it seems that on our Wild Earth website we somehow have a problem with chat. It seems to freeze the stream. I need to find out from Pete and Alex what the story is there with regards to that chat. Other chat, of course, is the Ning chat. There are only a few people. I'm just saying hello to Sandra, and looks like only Sandra, although Helen, Carol, Colleen and a couple of others are in Ning chat. And at the same time, just going to look around Gowrie Dam to see if we can see anything. There is a pretty red sun setting I can see out the window here at FC, and a pretty bright moon already in the sky, beautiful waxing moon. We're going to be in full moon in a couple of days' time. Hi Carol. Sandra, yes, we've just had a battery issue, one of those old battery issues we had some time ago with the Jigger when we ran out of power. Fortunately, we haven't had this issue for a long time, and we seem to have found the culprit, or rather the cause of it, and hopefully it's a one-off problem. Some buffalo in the sunset looking west of Gowrie Dam. That mast, by the way, near the sun is the main broadcast mast that gets the signal from us to you. And in a couple of days' time, the sun's actually going to be directly behind it from the camera. But for now, if I can try and find a view of our sunset without the mast, there we go, without any human interference, we can watch the sun go down while I'm talking to you. Also, there is the JTV chat, and finally we've been able to get into Justin TV on our main broadcast computer. In the past, some of the folks who've been directing have been able to get onto JTV chat with their laptops, and those of us that haven't had laptops weren't able to unless we do it on the other computer. But hi everybody in JTV. And Linda wanting me to talk about snake bites and elephants. And that was, Linda sent me an email a little while ago with some information on Asian elephants and incidents in India with king cobras. And it's got to take into account that the king cobra is probably one of the largest venomous snakes in the world. In fact, I couldn't believe the size of king cobras until I saw someone handling them. So it's no surprise to me that there have been incidents of elephants in India being bitten and dying, for that matter, from king cobra bites. I'm sure there have been the odd incident here in Africa. I mean, we have a look at how many elephants there are in Africa and how many venomous snakes we have. What kind of snakes affect elephants here and whether there have been incidents, I'm not too aware of it. I will certainly look into it. But in all my years of guiding and being in the bush, I have to be honest, I've heard of smaller animals being bitten by snakes, but I haven't really heard of elephants being affected by snake bite. Not to say that they haven't, it's quite likely that they have. We have Egyptian cobras that get very big, we have black mambas that are very large and that have a powerful enough venom to drop an elephant, but I need to find out whether there have been incidents of that kind. So passing through all the different chats at the moment, just to say hello to everybody. I'm now having a look at Ning. Haven't been in Ning, not Ning, Zap Live. Deborah Rose, you ran over a king cobra on a motorbike? Just trying to scroll back a little bit. Remember, I'm not able to keep up with all the chats at the same time, and scrolling back is not always easy. So please, rather than asking questions in the chat, please send me a couple of questions to Safari TV email box. That's finalcontrol@safari.tv. A lot easier, or rather make sure that I do get the questions. Watcher 159, are there improvements coming for the lighting for the night cam? Used to be so much better, now we can't see very far. Watcher 159. See, another thing about answering questions in email is that at least you can give me your real names in email, which makes it a lot better when it comes to answering a question rather than saying your chat names. But yes, of course, most definitely, we are going to make some improvements at the camera at the dam. Most notably, of course, getting our focus and zoom functions back. At the moment, there is an issue. We can either have our zoom and focus and not panning and tilting, or we can have the panning and tilting without the zoom and focus. And we will be resolving that issue, I hope, as soon as possible. With regards to the infrared lights for the camera, we are hoping to take some of the lights that are already at the dam and hook them up. There are wires there, and we will be improving that lighting. It is only a temporary issue. Just want to remind you, though, that up until now it has only been very few of us in camp, and we haven't had the opportunity to have someone go down to work on the camera while the drives are out, on account of having, well, Jared and Catherine left, and Tara and Herman have been on leave, so we've been a little bit short to have a couple of extra hands to go down there. Speaking of going down, I see that's the last little bit of sun we're going to get today. I see it disappear shortly. Fred's got a question. I'm going to have to... Evening sounds of Gary while I answer Fred on an email. I'm back again. Although I believe the people are not going to be talking, they'd rather have the sounds of Gowrie. Thank you, Elaine. Back in chats again, I see I have got a couple of emails coming in. I just want to comment on a couple of chat things, seems to be. Back in Ning chat, Helen wanting to know it was batteries that failed. Moving into Justin TV, SAST talking about finding a cobra skin the other week. Well, we have found a few skins. The one that was found that is here in FC, which is a complete skin, was a vine snake. I don't recall anyone finding a cobra skin. And okay, I'll leave you guys. You seem to be doing fine on JTV. Zap Live, what do you got? Still on that question about the lighting at the camera, but I've got to skip down through everything towards the end, otherwise I miss too much. Okay, nothing there to relate to what I need to talk about. So emails, and D wanting to know if Gowrie has ever gone dry. It has, D. In fact, when I started here, Gowrie was dry. Gowrie dried in 2008 as a result of poor rainfall and I suppose you would say somewhat of drought conditions. It filled up in the December of 2008, so it has been dry for a couple of months, or rather a couple of seasons. In fact, it probably lost a large percentage of its fish population as a result of drying out, including the crocodile that used to live at Gowrie Dam. And this is now the second winter that it has been through with water, and we're going to need to have rain soon, because I think Gowrie Dam is a lot lower at this time of year, rather now, than it was this time last year. So these hot, dry days are sapping the water out of Gowrie Dam at a fast rate. Of course, the few hundred buffalo that come in to drink and the few big herds of elephant that come in don't help much. They, of course, take away a lot of water. So that's your answer, D. And I can only hope that rain is going to be coming soon. We're into third week in September. We haven't even had our first real splash. We had a little bit of rain at the beginning of the week. Not really much that one can call rain. It sort of dampened the soil a little bit. And that was about it. Vivian. Hi, Vivian. Wondering about the owls calling at night around Gowrie. And Vivian is saying that owls are supposed to be quiet, stealthy, watching for prey. And saying there's also a frequent caller of the Vero's eagle owl somewhere in the vicinity of the dam. Probably the same one, or the mate, one of the pair that we see. Let me just go back a little bit. I'm going to just take the camera back to the jackalberry. If I had a zoom, we might be able to find it. But I'll tell you, this is probably more unlikely, Vivian, the tree that the Vero's or the giant eagle owl sleeps in, or not sleeps in, but hunts from at night. Now, you're quite right. Owls are quiet and stealthy, watching for prey, but they're also highly territorial, and they also do need to communicate with mates. This beautiful big jackalberry at the moment is losing its old leaves and gaining its new ones, so it's a little bit bare. It's going to be very, very lush and green in a couple of weeks' time when it gets its new leaves. And if there was an owl in there, we would be able to zoom in on it, but unfortunately, well, we've been there, covered that subject. So yes, they mostly vocal with regards to declaring their territories as well as communicating with their mates, and obviously at times that they're calling, they're not hunting, and they are so quiet and so stealthy that nature has given them modified feathers. Their leading primary feathers on their wings are modified to cut out the sound of air moving over the feathers. And you look at some of the diurnal large raptors like vultures and eagles. In fact, vultures and some of the storks in particular, because they are so large, when they're coming out of the sky and dropping down onto the ground, there's quite an audible sound that if an owl had the same kind of feathers, it would give it away when it is hunting. So very much so. A lot of adaptations for an owl to live that silent nocturnal hunting, the nocturnal hunting animal that it is. In fact, so silent that they'll use sound as a hunting technique rather than vision. First they'll locate something by sound. And what is interesting is that, of course, they don't have external ears, and the horns that we see on owls are not their ears. But what's interesting about an owl's ears is that one is set lower than the other. You know, we as humans and most other animals, their ears are at the same height, so you can tell sort of you get stereophonic sound coming in, being able to tell direction left or right whether something is making a noise. But an owl has a variation in the spacing of the ears, or rather the direction what they can hear, and they get more or less a three-dimensional hearing with the ears one set higher than the other, so they're getting an up-down as well as a left-right stereophonic sound coming in, and they can pinpoint their prey just by sound. Now also with a neck vertebra, extra few neck vertebra, and the owls have got about, I think, 14 or 18 I think neck vertebra that allow them to swivel their head the way that they do. And one of the reasons for that is that their large nocturnal eyes, set in the sockets that they can't move their eyes, so they're able to move their heads instead of their eyes when they need to look at things. And that allows them to move that head around and pinpoint sound, and then swoop down and scoop it up. Hope that answers your question, Vivian. I see questions are coming. Oh, it's an Ellie, finally. And I was going to come back to the dam. That looks like... this is when I need a zoom. I'm not going to say who it looks like until it comes down. We'll have to look and see if it's going to be with a herd. But wonderful. An elephant. Vicky in Florida, wanting to know about the drainage lines that we talk about. Drainage lines are all natural. They are caused by hundreds and hundreds of years of runoff, of rain runoff. Here comes some more Ellies. At least see, we still get it to be a bit of a drive from Gowrie Dam, watching the Ellies come in. If they come close to the water, I'm going to put the sound up a little bit on the water. You're going to have the background sounds, maybe, if it doesn't drown me out, or if I don't drown it out, so we can hear the Ellies come. In fact, I might just leave you early to the sounds of the Ellies at the dam. But the drainage lines develop, they like stream beds, dry stream beds that will take excess rainwater into the into the larger dry river beds, and then eventually into the larger permanent rivers like the Sand River and the Sabi River. So they are all natural occurring drainage lines. The question as to why the dams are built is to catch water in these drainage lines when they are flowing after heavy rains. And a lot of these dams were built when all these individual properties were self-contained, when there wasn't freedom of movement of animals, when before all fences were brought down, and at times when people needed to provide water for the animals within their fenced-in areas, and they have just maintained these dams. Of course, it does help the animals to a large extent. What it can also do in some cases, it can apply a lot of pressure to an area at a time of the year when that area doesn't need pressure. Animals like buffalo and elephant and things hanging around an area that is overutilized. Under the circumstances though, we have an area that needs these large herbivores to come through because it becomes very dense at times, and it needs these large herbivores to come through and clear out a lot of the dry moribund material and flatten it, make way for new growth. So these dams are actually quite useful in that they are providing water for these large herbivores, and of course having these large herbivores has a positive spin-off by being here. If we were in a drought situation, once again the dams would dry up, the animals would to a large extent move away to the more permanent water sources like the Sabi and the Sand Rivers and some of the more permanent dams, and it would release, or rather it would relieve the pressure of overutilization in an area that is already hampered by drought. So, moving on to, hello Liz. Liz wanting to know about an unknown disease killing crocodiles. Well, I know that in the Olifants River a lot of crocodiles are dying, but that's a lot of that is from eating fish that are tainted with chemicals from runoff from farming areas, from fertilizers and things. But I don't know enough about it, and I do need to read up more about it. There has been a large study done on the Olifants River as to the cause of the death of crocodiles. Another thing that has caused severe problems with crocodiles is damming rivers, permanent rivers, and the damming, flooding sandbars and things that the crocodiles not only nest on but sleep on. But there are possibly other reasons that I haven't learnt about yet, so I will be looking into that, and thanks for that, Liz. Hope you're well, and I hope to talk to you soon. Peggy, when does the rainy season begin, and how often does it rain there in summer? We should have already had some of the first rains in spring, Peggy, but the big rains, the true rains, really only start around November, December, and that's when we're hoping to have the big rains. How often does it rain? I can't really give you an answer to that, Peggy, because first of all, I think the world's weather is a little bit messed up at the moment, but also it's not that frequent that one can say, well, it rains every 2 or 3 days. I think it would probably help to give you rainfall figures, and there again I'd have to do a mental conversion, or maybe I can just bring out my little pocket converter. I think we're in a part of the country that has about a 600 millimeter rainfall. 500 mils, that's 50 centimeters, that's 20 inches. Call it 20 something inches of rain a year or more. Call it 25 inches of rain, I think. 25 would be 500. No, 20 inches would be about 500 mils. Sorry, my brain is fried today. I've had so much on my plate. Look at this, fantastic. Having a herd of ellies. Look at that little one running. It's gorgeous. Don't know if you're all with me. Anyways, I'm missing out on chat because I'm in emails quickly. But we're hoping to have rain soon, Liz. Peggy. And Fred, yes, well, Fred, I'll answer your email rather writing than talking, because Fred is hearing impaired, and we need to answer Fred on email rather than over the air. JTV. Enjoying the ellies. Ning. There you go. Okay, I'm going to take myself out of the picture now. We can listen to the ellies drinking. Hi everybody. Well, I believe I was the leopard. I just had to step out for a second there, and well, luck would have it that I missed it. And I'm thinking it might have gone off the dam wall. I can hear the blacksmith lapwing making a noise. The guinea fowl getting ready to roost and sitting on this side of the dam means that it hasn't come this far yet. And if it was off to the right of those ellies, well, there's an elephant now coming down into the slipway. So if the leopard was somewhere there, you certainly see it when those ellies come through there. Hope you can hear me. Sally, yes, they pretty much do have to learn how to use their trunk, and in that process they have to learn how to control all the muscles in the trunk. Here comes another family unit. So the leopard wasn't down the spillway. And if they went right and past those mounds of sand, all those mounds of sand are there to repair the road over the dam, or the dam wall, so that the vehicles can drive over the dam. Thanks for letting me know you hear me. So, unfortunately, I can't hear the dam now. I can't hear the noises, otherwise we'd have this. And that means there'd be a bit of an echo. So I'm going to turn that off. And see they're breaking up into their different family units now. There's one with a couple of bulls. And, oh, throwing mud. And there probably another couple of young bulls. Here's another family unit over there. Am I making you dizzy yet? Probably. I think we'll watch this group drinking so we can keep the camera here just in case. Even another family. This is the big group I was trying to get close to yesterday. It's actually quite dark. It's quite remarkable how much light this camera lets in compared to any other camera we've ever used, in that it's looking like daylight out there, and right now it's actually quite dark. It's dark enough outside that a vehicle would have to use light, so at any moment now it's going to switch to infrared. So for the blonde Viking, although it is more than one family unit, they are one big extended family. There would be some relationship between all these elephants. Perhaps the matriarchs are sisters or cousins or something, and that is why they're hanging around in a big breeding herd like this. We're just going to go to the right again and keep tracking it to the right just in case we see something there. Cat-wise, if there is a cat. Oh, guinea fowl are too relaxed. Guinea fowl getting ready to roost for the night. Climbing in. Here we go. Just switched over into infrared. We finally lost our color feed unless I turn it back towards the west where the sky is still a little bit lighter. Geese taking sanctuary on the little island. We knew that an island was going to be coming up here because there were times when we would see, even when the water was covering it barely, we would see the geese standing there, and I knew that that would be one of the first places that would come up. But last year in the dry season we didn't have that island to my knowledge. So, Blonde Viking, no, there is a matriarch for each family group. Each family unit has its own matriarch, and those matriarchs would then communicate with each other to bring those families together into a breeding herd, and whether they stay together for an hour or a day or a week is up to them. Generally they tend to move off and feed in different areas. Teresa, bye bye. Just checking in on Zap Live. Hi Teresa, glad you enjoyed the chat. I haven't counted, Kathy. I know it should have been easy to count. Let's see, let's go to the far left and we'll try and count our ellies. A couple of them have moved off into the distance. But there, from that big bull on the far left, 2, 3, then there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that picture, 11 in that picture, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 1 in the back, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So far, 26 plus a couple that have probably moved off into the bush already. Full of 30. Yesterday, I was, hello Brian. Yesterday I was thinking, and this must be the big herd. I think if we had a zoom we'd be able to find that big old girl with the tuskless lady. Okay, I'm going to try and get to a point where we can stop zooming, and I'm going to have to say goodnight to you because it's end of drive time, which means I have to make my way up to the house. We have a number of visitors here. I'm going to have to leave it like that. The moon, oh, wait, before I go, sorry. Just for those of you lunatics out there, fellow lunatics, where are you, Bella Luna? I'll find it eventually. There it is. Okay, see where it is? See where the dead tree is? Tomorrow we're going to have the moon coming up through the dead tree just after drive. So there we go. There's our moon, pre-full. But unfortunately we have visitors. Mike Williamson is back with Lara, and we have another couple in here. He is being interviewed for a position here, and there is a dinner going on, and being head presenter, I have to be there. So glad you're all out. Glad I could show you the moon. It is getting pretty high, and any higher than that we're going to lose it. But tomorrow and the next day and the day after that we're going to have the moon rising over these guinea fowl in the dead tree. This new control is not as easy to control. But yeah, we'll have the moon rising over the dead tree. It's going to be really, really beautiful. Just after drive. So you can look forward to that. Of course, Star's mom camera is going straight back to Ellie's, and I'm going to have to leave it in that position, and I'll have a look around when I come back from the house after dinner perhaps. But it is, sadly I do have to go. They are waiting for me. And they are all these Ellies. Pity I couldn't find them on drive. I was looking for their tracks. They'd been to Buffelshoek Dam, and they obviously came west from Buffelshoek Dam along Central Road somewhere. But maybe tomorrow. I see. Egyptian geese have just flown off. Interesting. So they look like they've gone into a tree for the night. So bye bye everybody in Zap Live. I'm signing out. Love you all. Back to Ning Chat. Carol, Helen, Susie, Leland, Dave. Yeah, Dave. Lady Blue. Colleen and Anita. Bye everybody. Nice to find out of there too. And gosh, look at all of these elephants. Okay. Leopard on right. I'm sorry I missed it, Paddy. I really am. I had to step out of FC, and when I got back in I immediately started panning left, and I should have panned right. I didn't see any emails or anything. Along the water's edge of the dam. Oh boy, I'm so sorry to have missed that. Sorry about that. And all these other emails. From Jean, have we seen hippos going from one waterhole to another? Do they do this at night and in groups? Can they fight off a predator out of the water? Yes, 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 and yes. Yes, they do go from one to another. And yes, Jean, they do this at night when they're out feeding, when they're out grazing. And they'd either do it on their own or in generally on their own, perhaps sometimes in groups. And yes, they can pretty much keep themselves protected from predators. So another one from Patty. I'm really sorry I missed that leopard. And that's it for the emails. A lot of you just trying to hurry and send in emails about the leopard, and I'm just really sorry I missed it. I'm going to have to leave this as it is now and hopefully give you a nice view with the full moon coming, or the bright moon that we have tonight, not quite full. Hopefully the camera will pick up a little bit more than it normally does. And I'm hoping that soon with new people. We had a new gentleman starting today. His name is Malusi. He's here on the technical side. Going to help Alex and Pete Bright on the technical side. Hopefully we can get things going on the camera at the dam with that, as well as putting in better infrared lighting so that we can see across the dam again. And Looking forward to Herman coming back soon. In a week's time still, actually. That's today, it's only Tuesday. So Herman's still got a week. And what else? We've got a couple of tryouts starting early next week, and soon we'll be back to full complement, and we'll be able to address things a lot quicker than we have in the past. Unfortunately, just not had time and the manpower to do things as much as we would like to. So from me, everybody, I love you lots. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me in chat, and enjoy Gowrie Dam. Bye.